Coming up on Around San Diego, the homeless crisis is front and center here in San Diego. We'll have more on the mayor's latest proposal on a 1,000-bed shelter. And another home insurance company wants to raise your rates. Those details also ahead. Plus, this week marked 40 years since 21 people were shot and killed at a San Ysidro McDonald's. Our Steve Price shares the story from a survivor. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news and look ahead in less than 30 minutes. So millions of dollars that were heading to San Diego County for temporary housing have been diverted out of our area by the governor's office. As CBS 8's Steve Price reports, the state is blaming county supervisors, but our local leaders are still moving forward with plans for new housing and are hoping the governor will contribute.
State leaders agreed to chip in $10 million to place 150 tiny homes on this lot here in Spring Valley. At first, county supervisors approved the plan, but then backed out after neighbors objected. So now the state is pulling its money. Instead of giving it to us for another project in the county, they're sending it to San Jose. San Diego County could not move with the urgency the housing and homelessness crisis demands, the governor's office told CBS 8 in a statement, adding, "The governor is committed to accountability, and we will not allow local delays and opposition to impede the state's unprecedented efforts to get people off the streets and into housing."
It complicates things now that the governor has officially said, he's taking his money and his homes back.
County Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp is hoping we can still get state money, and she'd like to spend it here on this vacant lot in Lemon Grove, about 2 miles from the Spring Valley location. The plan is to build 70 sleeping cabins with 24-hour security. It'll cost just over $11 million to plan, design, and build, and another $3 million annually to operate it.
This is a priority, providing a safe and stable place for our neighbors suffering from homelessness to stay. I believe we are setting a foundation for which they can regain their refooting and get back on the path of self-sufficiency. That's what this is about.
At the county supervisors meeting Tuesday,
motion passes unanimously with all supervisors who are present voting aye.
They agreed to move forward with the new Lemon Grove site, and Chairwoman Nora Vargas's office sent us a statement today, making it clear she is still hoping to secure state funds. I look forward to collaborating with Governor Newsom to find real and equitable solutions to the homelessness crisis, and will continue to ensure that community voices are heard throughout this process. Despite the unanimous vote to move forward on this site, Supervisor Montgomery Stepp knows there is still a lot of work to do to get community support, but it's a battle worth fighting.
I think it's our responsibility to provide help for people who want help.
If all goes as planned, the new sleeping cabins will be up and running within 2 years. In Lemon Grove, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Yeah, and a homeless encampment that was deemed dangerous, 2 drivers and the people who lived in it has now been removed. It was on the shoulder of Kenwood and State Route 94, west of the on-ramp there in Spring Valley. A couple says they reported the encampment to Caltrans but didn't hear back. So then they told CBS 8 that it went on for too long and really has created a dangerous distraction.
Are looking at that. But then they turn up to accelerate, and sometimes people would park and leave food or services to this homeless encampment. And so the whole thing was just kind of a dangerous and unsafe.
Yeah, Caltrans told CBS 8 it can take up to 2 weeks to process requests. So on Tuesday, we did see people moving to the other side of the highway down the flood channel. The agency says they are not solving the problem, but managing it. And on Wednesday, San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria announced a tentative 30-year lease deal to transform a 65,000-foot commercial building in Middletown into a 1,000-bed shelter for the homeless. The Hope at Vine lease, which still needs to be approved by the San Diego City Council, is for 30 years at a cost of $1.95 per square foot, with a 3.5% increase for each year of the lease. Now, this comes just a day after the city's independent budget analysts released its review of the project. It found several financial flaws in the lease terms, including the cost of leasing, saying the price is above market rate. The report also shows the property would need about $18 million in improvements. You can read more about this tentative leasing deal and the budget analyst report on our website at cbs8.com. The City Council is expected to vote on this proposed project on Monday. Meantime, the County Board of Supervisors passed a proposal to look into how it can fight back against mega corporations buying up San Diego properties, which they say are driving up the cost of rent and home prices. Under the proposal the board just approved, Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remen says that they are going to investigate and sue companies that engage in price fixing. The board will also look at potential laws they can pass that might prevent these big Wall Street firms from buying up lots of properties. Lawson-Remen made it clear this is not about mom and pop investors. This is about corporations like Blackstone, which bought 66 properties in San Diego County back in 2021. Well, we are certainly working for you. And after a viewer reached out to complain about a housing project in Hillcrest, the neighbor tells us that the construction really suddenly stopped months ago. The unfinished building is at the corner of Richmond and Washington. We reached out to one of the property owners. He tells us the project is on hold due to delays, but they are in the process of hiring a new company to finish the job. Meanwhile, people tell us the building has become the target of vandalism and break-ins.
We live next to a freeway corner where a lot of people fly signs, and people have definitely been taking liberties with the porta potties in the shelter, and I don't blame them.
The property owner says the completion date is planned within the next 3 months. Well, the Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against a Texas-based nonprofit over alleged sexual misconduct and harassment against children. The lawsuit alleges Southwest Key, which provides shelter to unaccompanied children who are found at the U.S.-Mexico border, engaged in a pattern of sexual abuse and harassment of children in shelters. Southwest Key operates 29 shelters that provide temporary housing for those children in Texas, Arizona, and then 2 locations here in California, including one in El Cajon. Individuals who believe they have been victims of sexual harassment or abuse at Southwest Key shelters are asked to contact the DOJ's Housing Discrimination Tip Line. We have that information on CBS8.com. Well, now to a proposed ordinance to silence loud music and other complaints about San Diego pedicabs. It's getting another vote of approval and is now on its way to the full City Council for a vote. CBS 8's Anna Laurel spoke to people around downtown and to pedicab drivers to see what the problems are and what's being done.
I'm here at a pedicab stand, basically right off the Midway. I'll actually get off his pedicab so maybe he can get some customers. But the city is looking to make new rules for pedicabs. These don't have any music playing because there are already rules about music here along Harbor Drive, but the city is wanting to make those citywide. But pedicab drivers say that really does affect their business.
There was a reggae concert just this last weekend. Go out there, you play some reggae. People hop on your bike if you got the right song playing. Ben is a San Diego pedicab driver. Driving through India and Little Italy, you know, I'm trying to show people a good time because this is more about entertainment.
This is what pedicabs often sound like around downtown.
Insanely noisy, very, very loud, hurts the ears from 6 p.m. all the way to like 11 p.m. to midnight.
Still loud?
Still loud.
People are completely done with the pedicabs blasting loud music at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to put an end to it.
City Council member Stephen Whitburn proposed an ordinance to ban loud music on pedicabs, and today it passed the city's Transportation Committee unanimously.
I've also received hundreds of complaints from residents and businesses.
Right now, there's a vague rule from the Port of San Diego about music along the Bayfront, but people who live and work downtown say many drivers do not follow the rules. Whitburn wants the law clarified.
Going forward, there could be no amplified music coming from pedicabs at all.
Another change that will happen if the full City Council approves this ordinance, customers will get an invoice for their ride before it starts. No price changes or gouging once you get going.
One of the biggest complaints we get is you get a group of people who get on a pedicab and they're given a certain price, and then after the ride they're told, oh, but that was the price per person.
Ben already lists his prices on his pedicab. He feels frustrated. Some drivers are giving pedicabs a bad rap.
One bad apple in the bunch, all the other apples go bad.
The ordinance goes before the full City Council for a vote in September. It could be implemented by the new year. In downtown, this is Anna Laurel for CBS 8.
Always appreciate it, Anna. Thank you. Well, now to a heads up for homeowners. Allstate wants to raise insurance rates by an average of 34%. If approved, we're told the move would impact more than 350,000 policyholders. It would be the highest hike this year, surpassing State Farm's request for a 30% increase in rates just last month. Industry experts we talked with say it will not impact all policyholders in the same way.
That doesn't mean that every Allstate client is going to be getting a 34.1% increase. What it means is there's a range. Some people are going to get a deduction, meaning that their premium is going to go down by up to 57%, all the way up to a plus 647%. We don't know.
Yeah, per state law, Allstate needs to get approval from the Department of Insurance. We are told that could take several months. Well, 40 years ago this week, a gunman walked into a McDonald's in San Ysidro and opened fire, killing 21 people. It is still the deadliest mass shooting in California history. CBS 8's Steve Price sat down with one of the restaurant's employees who shared his painful story to make sure the victims are never forgotten.
The McDonald's where it happened here in San Ysidro is now long gone, replaced by a memorial. But for those who were there that day, July 18th, 1984, the memories and the pain remain.
The shooting suspect is inside the McDonald's.
The shooter walked in and started shooting up in the air and yelling and screaming at everybody to get to the ground.
Alberto Leos was just 17 years old when it happened, had only been working at the McDonald's for 3 weeks.
There's still stuff being fired.
Leos, now a captain with the San Diego Police Department, says he remembers it like it happened yesterday. He thought the guy was there to rob the place, then the gunman fired point blank at his manager.
She confronted him and she was shot right away. And she was killed, and that's when we knew he was serious, that he was there with really, really ill intentions. And he's just started executing everyone.
Leos hid in the back with 3 coworkers. He says a minute felt like an hour.
You continue to hear the bullets, you continue to hear people crying. I would look up and over and watch him execute, moms, babies, teenagers, kids outside, fathers. It was just horrible.
30 to 40 minutes later, the gunman found Leos and shot him 5 times.
Both of my arms, my right leg, the right side of my stomach, and my chest.
The others in his group were all killed, and he probably would have been too. But the gunman ran out of ammunition and left to get more, giving Leos the seconds he needed to get away.
I told myself, if I stay here, he's going to come back and finish me off. So I crawled to the back of the McDonald's. I crawled downstairs into a closet.
In his new hiding place, he took off his shoelaces and used them as tourniquets.
And then I grabbed a cloth and I bit on it for about 20 minutes or so, because I was in a lot of pain. I didn't want to make any noise.
77 minutes after the first shots were fired, a SWAT sniper killed the gunman, 41-year-old James Huberty, who had been struggling with mental health issues. He killed 21 people that day, injured 19 others.
That feeling of helplessness, watching these moms and babies and children die in front of me and not being able to do anything, that's the hardest part to me. Till this day, still bothers me. Till this day.
With Huberty dead, paramedics started helping the injured, and that's when Leos realized just how badly he'd been injured.
Just the reaction from the paramedic when he tore my clothes off. How can this guy still be alive with all those bullet holes?
Leos started feeling dizzy from the loss of blood and prayed, asking God to save him with a promise that he'd do something good with his life.
That's why I became a police officer.
And while on duty early one morning in 1994, Officer Albert Leos spotted a car on fire, the driver trapped inside screaming for help.
As I pull him out, he's still alive, and I'm dragging him away from the vehicle, and it's just like in a Hollywood stunt movie. I'm pulling him away from the vehicle, and then the vehicle blows up.
For Leos, those few minutes of chaos helped erase a decade of guilt.
And after that incident, it kind of calmed me down. It's like, hey, you got a second chance, and you made the best of it, and you helped someone out, and you saved a life. That's what it's all about.
Leos doesn't talk about the McDonald's shooting often, but on this 40th anniversary, he felt it was important to share his painful past as a way to honor those who didn't survive.
Little by little, people start forgetting, so I just want to make sure that people remember the victims. That there were human beings, there were moms, dads, children, babies, and that lost their life in a horrific incident, and that's what it's all about, remembering them.
Steve Price, CBS 8.
Just truly awful, incredibly powerful, and we appreciate him sharing his story to keep those victims, their legacy alive. Steve, thank you. Coming up, changes are on the way for animals being brought across the border. What you need to be aware of next. Welcome back. A group is now calling for immediate action to protect sea lion pups at La Jolla Cove after 3 were found dead. The Sierra Club says an examination was not done, so we don't know the official cause of death. In order to keep sea lions and people safe, though, the environmental group says they would like to see more signage, rangers on the ground, and cones or guide ropes. Councilman Joe LaCava says work is ongoing for a management plan there at La Jolla Cove. And also, in a few weeks, the CDC will have new requirements for people bringing dogs into the U.S. from other countries. This is mainly to prevent the dog rabies virus from re-entering the U.S. The dogs will be required to be at least 6 months old, have a microchip implanted, appear healthy, and have all the specific required documentation. The Animal Pad in San Diego rescues dogs across the border.
Dogs from the conditions that they come from and bring them into your house and show them love, affection, and care for the first time. It's the way that they're grateful is beyond.
Yeah, these new requirements will go into effect on August 1st. Well, Comic-Con kicks off this week, and this year it will be back in its entirety. This year, Hall H will be making a big comeback after many A-list celebrities were not there last year because of the writer's strike. It will not only be open Saturday, but it's having a surprising Thursday panel as well.
Marvel is back at the convention on not just one night, which is what they normally do, but they are actually there 2 nights this year, which is huge. One night will be their normal big presentation, and then the other night will be all about Deadpool and Wolverine.
It is huge. So in previous years, people would camp out to get into Hall H. You've seen this before. This year, though, is different. People will need to enter a lottery to attend the Deadpool and Wolverine panel. Stay with us. CBS 8 is a proud sponsor, and we're helping Stuff the Bus. We'll have more on how it helps students all across our county. Well, CBS 8 is proud to team up with SDCCU, San Diego County Credit Union, Jersey Mike's, and the San Diego County Office of Education to Stuff the Bus and help local students experiencing homelessness receive the school supplies they need. Organizers at the San Diego County Office of Education Innovation Center shared with us just how much of an impact this donation drive has on the students.
Education can play a really important role in homelessness prevention, and I know if you watch the news, homelessness is something that everybody's talking about right now, and I think it's really important to think about the preventive nature of just helping a student be able to engage in school and therefore stay in school.
You do have until July 31st to make a monetary donation at any San Diego County Jersey Mike's, any SDCCU branch, or by going to sdccu.com/donate. Well, that will do it for us. Thank you so much for your time and generosity. Thank you for staying informed. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take such good care.